I think my only piece of advice that I can give to young entrepreneurs, young professionals, is to keep going. Don't allow yourself to be denied. Don't listen to the negative thoughts inside your head, and just wherever you're going through, power through. Continue to plug and connect with like-minded individuals and seek them out. Seek out community. Get to know yourself better than anyone else, and really, like I said, find that environment, community of like-minded people.
Welcome back to the Pursuit of Property podcast. Today, we are sitting across the table from our good friend, Kalhiel Dillard. He is a licensed real estate agent, serial entrepreneur, and host of the Ripoff and Duplicate Podcast, which we were just on the other week. So, dude, we get to return the favor. We get to have our boy KD on. So, bro, how are you doing?
Absolutely, man. It's a pleasure to be here. Pleasure to be working with you guys again. Awesome to be in this setting. You guys got a dope studio. So, excited to run it back and bring some value to your audience, and let everyone get a chance to learn a little bit more about me as well.
Dude, I was back. I told Cade, I said it was really difficult to go on your podcast and not ask you questions because I'm used to asking the questions. So it works out that you're here and we can now ask you some of the stuff you asked us and really get your opinion on it.
Absolutely. And this is honestly my first time being another guest on another podcast. So this is new for me.
Let's go.
Last time asking you guys all the questions. You know, I've been feeling like I want to tell more. I want to tell more about myself. So very fortunate to be here, be able to grace your audience with some of my knowledge and information as well.
Damn. So it's your first time being the guest, not the host.
The guest, not the host. Not too many people do, the entrepreneurial podcast, in our area. So there's not many options to go on. So, it's us in our city, probably a few other guys, but not that many to choose from.
Yeah. Damn.
Dude, well, before we get into it, the biggest thing, and I'll say, even before I think I met you, that I had already known, like, dude, this guy, the vibe and the word was he's a fucking hustler, dude. He's got all these side hustles going on. He's bringing in multiple streams of income while he's building his real estate business, which is something we've always attested to. We've gone through on a much smaller scale. But dude, can you tell us a little bit about your background and a little bit about yourself? And then we'll jump into, kind of the meat of everything.
Absolutely, man. So a little bit about me. I'm born and raised in the Central Valley, born in Modesto, California. A lot of my nature or my background, the reason why I hustle so hard is because I was born to a single parent, single mom. She was only 12 years old when she had my brother and I. So starting off life, it wasn't a damn cakewalk for us. We had to learn how to grow up very fast and take on responsibilities very early. And so just being in that environment in Modesto, it's a very similar city to Fresno, smaller. My mom instilled in us, work hard. She didn't allow us to mess around in the streets, even though that's what other kids in the neighborhood may have been doing. She didn't shelter us, but she did her best to shelter us at that age. And it really does take a village to raise children in that kind of environment. So there's a lot of people who, helped my mom out, who helped us out. And maybe at that time being young, we didn't even notice. But now looking back at it and some of the success I've had is really because that village of people who helped raise us. Definitely.
Wow. I think that has to be probably one of the youngest moms that I know of personally.
Twins as well.
That's crazy. I don't want to pry too much, but I mean, how did that kind of shape your upbringing into coming into like the business world? It sounds like, like you said, you had to grow up pretty quick.
Absolutely. Just being in that environment, like it's the ghetto. There's no other way to put it. Just being in that environment and seeing the things that are going around in the neighborhood. I think that my brother, luckily I had someone to share that experience with me, and it wasn't a dark and lonely place. And for some of the parents that are in that kind of environment, for them, it's a dark and lonely place. So luckily as a child, I didn't have to experience that alone. So I would say my just seeing everything that was going around and the environment at a very young age, I always thought to myself, man, there's got to be something better. There's got to be something more than whatever the hell is going on in this place. Mm-hmm. And so I always just, late at night in my thoughts, how can I get out of this? What can I do to be a good citizen, a good person of the community? And then ultimately where I'm at now, how can I give back to the community that gave so much to me?
Dude, so how does that transition even start from, all your childhood and growing up, and then growing up, like Scott had said and you had said, growing up super quick, and then now using that as a vehicle in the business world? How did that transition kind of happen from childhood to then becoming in the, a serial entrepreneur in the business space?
Great question, man. We got a big family, single parent. We got a younger sister, younger brother. My sister's got a baby. My aunt's got kids. There's got to be somebody who sets the standard, who breaks those generational curses and really continues to push forward. If me and my brother didn't do it, there was no one else that we could look up to who did it before us. So one of us had to do it. We're the first men in our family, never been arrested, never been inside of jail. And it might sound crazy, but when you come from that environment, that's all you really know. So, still daily, I think we're working hard to not listen to that voice in the back of your head that, you're not supposed to be here, because I really feel like I've worked my whole life, to take care of my family and to put them and to really use them as my why so I can continue going on this entrepreneurial journey.
Yeah. Well, can you share, I don't know. I'm gonna spitball here, but I feel like if I was in that spot, my first thought would not be take on massive risk and become a business owner. How did you even get started in running businesses instead of like how I started was I went and worked really crappy 9-to-5 restaurant jobs. It seems like you kind of took a route of going more as the owner. How did you even start that?
So when we were about 7 years old, we played football, Pop Warner football, neighborhood team. There is a guy, and this guy's been a very huge instrument in my life, mentor, father figure. He was a white guy from the Bay Area. He brought his son to play football in the ghetto because that's what he was used to in the Bay Area. He wanted his son to grow up around, in a diverse environment, learn some skills and make him tough. And we made this kid tough as hell. and it was our first year playing some small white guy. It was our first year playing football. We didn't know how to play, so we all sat the bench together. I got to know him, his family. My brother and I got to know him, his family, go on trips with them, and they really took us out of the environment that we were in and showed us something else. And he happened to sell real estate, so this was my introduction to real estate. I guess he brought us into a real estate house, and this was during the 2007, 2008. So real estate wasn't booming. He sacrificed a lot to take care of us in that moment when he wasn't doing really well. So seeing how hard he was willing to work in his business, the only thing I can really think of once it was time to go to college is hey, I'm going to get my real estate license and grind as well, and make a little bit of money on the way there. So I've always been a leader. I've never been one to follow. So it was hey, I can either go work for somebody or I can start it myself and get something going. At least if I can get the income, I can, create the cash flow, give it back to my family. And ever since then, that's exactly what I've been doing.
Touch more on that. So you said this guy brought his kid down to play football with you, and then he just because you guys were friends with his son, he kind of brought you and your brother into the game and just was showing you what he was doing?
Absolutely. And we were only about 9 years old. He essentially adopted us after that first season. Like I said, my mom was really young. And so, my brother and I were only 8 years old. We had to make the decision, so my mom can go out, continue to go to school, continue to work. And we're hey, mom, maybe we should just go spend a little bit of time over here. Mm-hmm. Great neighborhood, great schools, a community of people that really showed us love and care in that moment. And so he was our first real estate mentor. Everything I've learned, in real estate, a lot that I've learned, I attribute to learning that at a young age and growing up in that environment. Because, as you guys all know, that was not an easy time to be selling real estate then. Mm-hmm. And we were eating chicken and rice the whole time we lived. So it wasn't we went from a shitty environment to just a different kind of environment.
Yeah.
He's still grinding, hustling. He had 4 other kids of his own. So it was a big house, big family.
Wow.
Dude, and that's amazing to me. And I think it's a testament, and you can touch on it more than I can, but just the importance of having those right people in your life, dude. And like you were talking about, touching more on your why, like those people, taking you under their wing and having your mission be, how can I provide for my family and how can I provide for other people just the way other people did for me when I was coming up.
Absolutely. And man, exactly what you said right there is just, we always had people, and I try to be that for other people as well, because I know my life wouldn't be nearly what it is without those people who stepped in and played that role. Because, single parent, no dad, it's hard to it's hard to learn how to be a man, become a man when there's no father figure. So I just try to be as good of a person, role model, resource to others, because it wasn't there for me. And that's how I kind of go with my entrepreneurial journey.
Dude, that's so cool. I don't think either of us knew any about that. Well, I mean, talk to us then. It sounds like you went to college and you got your real estate license that way. Was that your first business?
So, yeah, I got my real estate license in college because my godfather back at home, he was always telling us, just get your license. Even if you're not using it, get your license. Well, I really needed to use my license at one point in time in college because I was dead broke. I had no money. So I was like, what can I do? Who can I reach out to that can be a resource to me? I was in a fraternity. So the first thing I did was reach out to a fraternity alumni. I said, hey, do you guys know anybody that I can work with, or that you guys know from the area, since I'm not from here, that I might work well with together? And I got a few recommendations out. The first person I worked with here in Fresno was Darren Zuber. They were at the KW office, and that was a great start to my real estate career. It really put me around some people who were established, knew what they were doing, and I was able to learn quickly.
Mm-hmm. And so you started with the Zuber team, and then were you selling houses while you were in school, or were you more holding your license? I know it sounded like you were kind of just suggested to get your license regardless. I was
selling while I was in school. The first 2 years of me selling real estate, I was selling about 5 to 6 houses on average the first 2 years, which was decent. But being on a team, it's a different kind of split than a solo agent. But I was able to navigate a lot through, just getting those houses out. I have no college debt. So, coming from the environment we're in, my brother and I were fortunate enough to not take on any college debt. We worked our asses off during college. We had fun during college, but we worked in order, so we didn't want to pay anybody. I hate owing people. So that's why I take the value of working hard very serious, so we can just get our shit done and continue to move.
And talk about the progression there a little bit, because you start with the Zuber team, and then how does your real estate business start to grow from there? What's kind of the timeline, and when does the first kind of side hustle or first kind of other stream of income start to come in that time?
Absolutely. So the progression of real estate, I believe I got licensed in 2018, around there. 2018. Was just an average, salesperson then, selling 4 to 5 houses a year. As I hit my senior year of college, I kind of made a transition from one team to a different team. Started working with Lindsay Vasquez and her team. It was more of an opportunity for me to work closely with a Rockstar listing agent, kind of learn their systems, and I kind of learned a lot. I learned a lot from Lindsay, added what she knew into my repertoire of business. And then it kind of became COVID hit during that time. Real estate was kind of at a weird point in the beginning of COVID. Nobody knew what was going to go on. So I was like, shit, I got to make a transition. I started working for Amazon as a driver because I could work 4 days a week. I could work these weird flexible hours to where I could still show houses on the weekends or in the afternoons. And the good thing about working for Amazon during COVID was they paid you for a full 8 hours, whether you worked 6 hours, 7, you always got paid for the full 8. If you went over, you got paid for 10. You got to go home during the pandemic right after you delivered all your packages. So I became one of the best delivery people in this area. I would deliver all my packages, go home, get all my other work done, continue to grind. Saved up the money that I had from Amazon, then invested in my first business, which was the party rental business. And then from there, I was still got more time freedom because I'm not driving the truck anymore, was able to build out the systems for the water slide business, and then continue to sell real estate like I have been doing.
Dude, there's going to be a lot to unpack here, but let's keep going. So you got out of Amazon driving and you said, I want to be the owner again. You invested into the slide business. Mm-hmm. How did you even know to go into a water slide business?
Okay, I can share this here. So I'm very adventurous with my life. There's a lot that I don't know about myself. So there's a lot of seeking that I'm trying to do as an older man, so I can know, who I am, who I really am, more about, my life, generation and whatnot. So during that, I went on like this psychedelic journey. And in that psychedelic journey, at the end of it, I kid you not, I woke up and I was like, inflatables, rentals, like this is the way. Party rentals. On my whiteboard when I woke up, I had SynCal water slides there. I knew SynCal because a lot of people from Modesto, this area, SynCal trucks, SynCal all this stuff. So I'm like, okay, SynCal party rentals. The name was already taken. It's like, okay, SynCal water slides. We'll just do seasonal. It'll allow me to make an influx of money during the season, invest that money elsewhere, continue to grow. So that's what I did there.
Okay, dude, that is freaking awesome. So, dude, you wake up on the whiteboard, SynCal water slides. Do you buy an existing business, or do you buy just the equipment and start it up, or how does that work? And then because I know when we'll get to it, you end up selling this business, and how was that just from start to finish, from owning to then selling it?
So even though I wanted to start the business, I had a little bit of money saved up from Amazon, but I didn't have enough money to fully invest in this business. Luckily, I was in a fraternity in college. I have a great group of friends. We all support each other. Everyone needs friends. I'll just say this straight up. If your friends are not willing to support you, whether that be financially, if they can, financially, emotionally, spiritually, if they can't support you in the things that you really believe in, then most likely they aren't really your friends. I was able to go to my close friend group, tell them my idea, pretty much pitch them. And I said, hey man, here's the deal. If you guys give me, I believe one of my friends gave me $1,000. I said, hey, at the end of the summer, I'm gonna give you $2,500. One of my other friends gave me $800, so I was doubling their money. I'm like, this is faster returns than the stock market. No one's gonna be able to give you this. So they gave me money, trusted in me, able to use that as a down payment. The way I found the water slide business was a fraternity brother. I had put it out there that I was looking for inflatables. A fraternity brother's uncle had hit me up and said, hey, I'm actually selling all my water slides. And he let me seller finance them for a small down payment. So I was able to accelerate the growth of that business a lot quicker than just having to put, all the money down on the business.
Dude, I feel like we're brushing over so many things so quickly. How did you know what the hell seller financing was?
Because I was selling real estate. I figured if you could seller finance a house, if you can seller finance, the same problems exist in owning small businesses that exist in owning real estate for owners. So, there's small business owners who are neglected, who are tired of working, just like when looking for distressed properties, they just don't want to do it anymore. So they're looking for young entrepreneurs, someone who actually has the resources, time, and money to come in and add that to their business.
Wow. So you bought it. So you crowdfund the down payment, you seller finance that, and then you got it started. How did you do your first summer?
Oh, my first summer, we killed it. So I was delivering water slides out of my...
I remember you delivering because you'd stop by KW and be like, I just finished delivering all my water slides for the day.
So I would start at 7 o'clock. It was me and a few close friends. Of course, I'm paying everyone. The first few weeks I was delivering out of my friend Carson. He initially gave me some money as well. His truck, still have to fix the latch on his truck, but broke his latch. He was letting me use his truck. Would pay him to use his truck, and then about the third week came, and I'm driving down doing a delivery, and on the side of the road, and remind you, we had no trailer. We're throwing water slides into the bed of the truck, 6 water slides going out and delivering them all before 1 o'clock. We're driving one day on the side of the road. There's a Ford F-150, 1990, for sale, $1,500. Well, we were making $1,500 a day doing water slide rentals. So went to the bank, got the guy didn't speak any English. Week 3, now I had a truck. Now all I needed was a trailer. Found a trailer online. The guy ended up liking me. It was listed for $1,200. Sold it to me for $700 because I was a young entrepreneur. So I was getting deals, finding deals because I was actively looking for deals. You know, I wouldn't let anyone tell me no. I don't let money become an issue. I don't let money, not having money or the lack of money, be a reason why I can't move forward. And a lot of people do. So I just kept pushing. So that first summer, I think we started the business we seller financed the business for I think it was $2,500 down. We received about $18,000 in assets, bought a truck, bought a trailer. I think the total assets went up to, for that business the first year, around $25,000. It reminds you, we started this off for $2,500 and now I got leverage. And so we pumped out almost 100 deliveries, 100 deliveries the first year, average sales price of $275. We're charging delivery fees, mileage. So there's a lot of extra charges that we're getting in this business as well. So we made quite a bit of money the first year. I think the first year we probably broke even at $22,000 in one summer.
You broke even in 3 months.
Yeah, one summer.
That's pretty sick.
And then and I think that's why it led me to sell the business so quickly as well, because I already had made my money back. And so it's what's the next thing that I can do? COVID's now over. Managing a business with employees for the first time. Shit. I don't think unless it's a team aspect, I don't think I'll ever do employees again.
Really?
Because you don't have control over. I know how much I like money. I know how much how much money the business was making me. Other people aren't as invested as you are, especially in those service-based businesses. Yeah. So you have to be either ready and willing to do the work yourself when other people aren't. And I was, luckily, but it got to a point where I was like, let me just get my money back.
So who did you sell it to?
I posted it online on my Instagram, and then tons of people were hitting me up because everyone was seeing I was going on deliveries every weekend during the summer. It's Fresno. It's 105 in the summertime. Everyone kind of knew, but I sold it to a brother duo entrepreneurs here in Fresno.
And did you sell it on terms, or did you sell it?
Nope, all cash. Came to my house, all cash. Took the trailer, left the truck, and left me 2 water slides. So I still have 2 more water slides to sell.
Dude, and when you sold, did you sell? Were you profitable when you sold it?
Yeah, hell yeah, man. I was profitable when I sold it. Paid all my boys back. Went and had a nice lunch. We had bought the vending machine business right after, so it was like me rolling over that money into a new business as well.
Talk us through the next one. This is let's go. This is like a deal analysis, but businesses. Yeah. So you sold and you immediately bought your next business. It was vending machines?
Sold and immediately bought the next business, which is the vending machine business that my brother and I own. Same situation. We just... Everyone kind of knows about vending machines, but no one actively pursues vending machines. It's like something like, oh, there's a machine in this place. I wonder who owns it. Well, my brother and I, we were looking on Twitter. We were kind of seeing all these articles about young entrepreneurs who were doing vending. And so we kind of looked at it and we're like, this is something that we can do. So just by fate, I kid you not, a high school teacher of ours, she sees one of my podcast videos. She knows that we're entrepreneurs. She calls my brother. Hey, I got a family friend of ours that is looking to sell their vending machine business. It's not a fit for me, but it may be a fit for you. So my brother and I were like, shoot, let's take a look at it. They had owned the business for 30 years. So they had a ton of financials on the business. They were farmers. This was their side gig that turned into main gig real fast. But they were retiring and needed young entrepreneurs, again, to kind of take over that business. And so my brother and I we kind of analyzed the deal. All right, I'll tell you guys the structure of the deal. We bought 15 locations and over 50 machines, $150,000. The business was already cash flowing. About depending on the quarter, Q1 to Q2 to Q3, Q4, around Q1 it cash flows around $9,000, so that's around $3,000 a month. And none of these machines have card readers on them as well. So already in locations, all cash business. Already in locations. So my brother and I saw the opportunity to come in, add the technology into this business, so we're able to accept more cash. And so we've only owned the business for a month. We took it over in January. Just by adding the card readers to the business, we upped the monthly cash flow from our historic data from previous January, $3,000. So we made an additional $3,000 in January.
Doubled it. In a recession. Where the cost of all the goods is more expensive, so your profit margin naturally should shrink.
And well, get this, they had not raised the prices. They owned these machines in 30 years. They had not raised the prices at all. So we immediately went in there, raised the prices. Oh yeah, inflation. So that's how we got that additional $3,000 was from raising the prices on all of our machines on all of our locations.
Dude, it's so fucking cool, dude, because both of those things, just like how we look at like an investment deal for a house, like value add, right? Something that's distressed, something with an owner that wants to get out, wants to get rid of it. You're coming in, you're adding value, you're putting in sweat equity to these businesses. And dude, you're turning around and fucking doubling the income. You're turning around and selling them for a profit. Dude, it's just what we're doing with houses on what I think, like, with businesses. It's so freaking cool, man.
Absolutely. And the way that we're generating leads we're cold calling for these locations. Yes, businesses, nursing homes, apartment complexes, warehouses. You got to cold call these places. So it's the same game as real estate. If you're willing to hop on the phone and make those dials, as the more people you can reach, the more opportunity you'll have to get those machines in new locations.
It sounds like of the businesses that you got into, 3 out of 3, the first one was, you said it was your godfather who really introduced you to real estate. Then you said a fraternity brother's uncle gave you that side business, and then a teacher's family member sold you this vending machine. Talk about how important your sphere of influence has been on just getting you these deals, because it sounds like you're finding some awesome sweetheart deals just by being the guy that you are, which is a high value networker who's constantly out bringing value.
Absolutely. I believe that what we're doing is uncomfortable. Being on camera, it can be uncomfortable for a lot of people, but the opportunity that it has provided me, being a resource to others, telling people what I need, the universe in return has given me exactly what I've asked for. So just by being a resource to others and putting that out there, hey, I'm looking for this, or this is what we're doing, people have responded to that call because they know we're working hard and trying to achieve more. So I tell people, just whatever you're looking for, whatever it is, put it out there into the world and let the world tell you, what it's going to give back to you.
We're going to cut to break right now.
So we're back from our break, you guys. We had technical difficulties. Kalhiel, we want you to leave our listeners with one last piece of advice and tell everybody where they can find you, where they can reach out. Take the floor. Yeah,
absolutely. I think my only piece of advice that I can give to young entrepreneurs, young professionals, is to keep going. Don't allow yourself to be denied. Don't listen to the negative thoughts inside your head, and just wherever you're going through, power through. Continue to plug and connect with like-minded individuals and seek them out. Seek out community. Get to know yourself better than anyone else, and really, like I said, find that environment, community of like-minded people. You guys are all more than welcome to reach out to me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter at The Realtor KD. My DMs are open. Follow the podcast at the Ripoff and Duplicate Podcast, and check out some of the stuff that we got going on over there as well.
Kalhiel, I think you've shared a super unique experience that nobody else on our podcast has. We are sorry we have to cut it a little short here, but we are super pumped that you came on. I think we're going to have to bring you back on and do a little bit more of a business deal analysis. Absolutely. And do another podcast shortly.
Let's do it. Absolutely. Yep. Thank you guys for having me, man. And short and sweet.
We love it, dude. See you guys next week.